The mud flood and the stolen century. Listen, family, open your eyes, open your ears. The world tells you it is the year 2025, but the time of Yahuwah's clock is 1925. They added 100 phantom years. They buried us under false time. And while we waited for tomorrow, the promise was already at the door. Go back to the 1700s. The earth groaned, city sank, and the ground rose up in waves of mud. What people call the mud flood swallowed the whole civilization. Windows disappeared beneath the soil. Doors vanished below the streets. Monuments and temples were covered up to their shoulders in clay. Libraries, scrolls, and records sealed the way. The world was reset, not by Yahuwah, but by the power of men, who would use the disaster to rewrite history. And when they dug those cities back out, they did not tell the truth. They washed the stones. They recarved the dates. They stamped fresh numbers on ancient works. They declared it is now 1800s. A century was added, not lived. A mask was placed over time. The people trusted the rulers. The rulers trusted the lie. And history moved forward on a crooked staff. But Yahuwah's covenant is not crooked. The prophet Ezekiel stood in captivity around 593 years before the coming reckoning. He saw the valley of dry bones. And Yahuwah said, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. They say our hope is lost. We are cut off. But I will open your graves. I will bring you back to your land. The Torah spoke of punishment 7 times for breaking the covenant. 7 times 360 equals 2,520 years. Add that measure to Ezekiel's day, and the clock strikes in the 1920s. That is the true appointed time. That is when the bones should have risen. That is when the covenant was due. Look at the 1920s and see the signs. Our people left the plantations of the South and the Great Migration. They poured into Chicago, Detroit, Harlem, Philadelphia. The chains of the old fields were broken and the new voices were born. The Harlem Renaissance exploded. Jazz and poetry, pride and awakening. Our people began to remember themselves, even if we did not yet name the covenant. At the same time, across the ocean, the land of Zion was stirred. The Balfour Declaration had promised a national home. The British mandate raised the flag over Palestine. The eyes of the world turned back to Jerusalem. But while bones rattled, enemies rose. The Ku Klux Klan exploded in power, millions strong. Hoods in every street. They marched in Washington. They burnt crosses. They passed laws, all to choke the awakening, all to bury the bones again. The bones rattled. The land stirred. The promise was moving. But rulers stretched the cloak. They told the nation, wait another century. They masked 1925 as 2025. And the remnant fell asleep under the weight of false time. But hear me. Yahuwah's promise cannot be delayed. Amos chapter 3 verse 7. Surely Yahuwah does nothing without revealing his plan to his servants the prophets. Ezekiel chapter 12 verse 25. The word that I speak will come to pass. It will no longer be delayed. The delay was not his. The delay was man's life. Think of it. How many generations lived and died thinking they were too early when really the clock had already struck? How many souls were told to wait for the golden age tomorrow while their inheritance was present today? How many prophets were mocked? How many voices silenced because Babylon's calendar said not we yet. See through the mask. We named the lie. The century they ended is the century we reclaim. We do not wait for their golden age. We rise in Yahuwah appointed time. Not in 2025, but in 1925. This is why the bones stir again now. This is why the remnant awakens. This is why voices are rising across the earth, because the appointed time is not coming. It is here. The breath is entering. The bones are standing. The covenant is alive. So rise, Israel. Stop measuring yourself by Rome's calendar. Stop living by Babylon's clock. The mud buried our story. The rulers redated our years. But Yahuwah unrolls the true scroll. And the scroll says the time is now. The scroll says 1925. The scroll says, live, Israel. Blow the trumpet. Declare the truth. Tell the world the stolen century is finished. The lie is broken. The remnant stands. The covenant breathes. The time is not tomorrow. The time is not ahead. The time is here. The time is now. The time is 1925. Yada Yahuwah. I know some people might not believe me, but hear me good. Go and do your research and look up and see what year it really is. Look at what happened in the mud flood. They gave us a reset and they gave us a date. They rewrote on everything. They uncovered everything. Why you think Trump inauguration was in the Tartarian temple, man? Think about it. It's 1925, not 2025. Y'all gave you eyes to see through the lies. Believe that. Yada Yahuwah.